Hey folks, thank you for joining us again for another exciting episode of YOMO. This is the Year of Magical Learning podcast. So today we are talking about the second installment of the book, The Five Invitations. And I guess Chris can tell you about the reflection for today. Today's reflection is 327. So
awesome. Yeah, no, I'm excited for this one. Well, not excited. Excited is the wrong word, but always excited to have a good, fun conversation with you. So we remember yesterday, we were talking about this book called The Five Invitations. It's a book about the founder of the Zen Hospice Project. He has been bedside with over 1,000 people, watching them slowly expire. And hospice, those experiences over the course of a career, you see a lot, right? He started to put together a book about themes that he saw, and his five invitations were: don't wait was number one. Number two is welcome everything and push away nothing. Number three is bring your whole self to the experience. Number four is find a place to rest in the middle of things. I think this is that's kind of your do not, don't run for trains, chaos going all around you. Is like find your place to rest in the middle of things. And then five is cultivate the don't know mind. So beginner's mind. We've talked a lot about these topics throughout the course of this journey. Honestly, like these are basically the Club Indie core values. I mean, hell, if you look at it seriously, like one of ours is literally, we don't know shit, but balance, find your place to rest in the middle of things, bring your whole self to the experience. It's about focus on your values overall, welcome everything, push away nothing, learn every day, try new stuff, challenge yourself, don't wait, go act, right? Like go try stuff, right? I mean, these are all of our values, right? For the most part. I mean, so Club Indie is based on a lot of the stuff that people really care about at the end of the day. I mean, that's what we're trying to do, So this book is about that. Reflection one was, you're trying too hard. So like a lot of times we find ourselves pushing just way too hard, and it's not very hard to live, like just be comfortable with yourself, and try to enjoy the experience. Number two is titled Jack and Patty. So this was a unique reflection that I'm honestly, it's one of the reasons why I love this journey, honestly, is I forgot this story, to be honest with you. Like it's as soon as I saw the title, this is my memory palace, right? We've talked about this before with the, Moonwalking with Einstein book, right? Like Yomo is my memory palace, right? And sadly, I can't believe I forgot this memory. I really did. I fucking forgot this memory. And it's kind of sad. I've been kind of like down all day long, to be honest with you. I don't know if it was because of this, but because I read this in the morning and when I was doing my own morning reflection stuff. And when I was reading it, I was like, I totally forgot this, like 100% forgot it. I was kind of sad. And I'll tell you why in a second. So the story is about Jack and Patty. It's been a long time since I had spontaneously cried. After Amelia passed away, I've never been a crier really in my whole entire life. I'm like somebody that gets super emotional and cries. I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. It just is. It is what it is, right? That is how I've always processed things or not processed things. It wasn't through tears coming out of my eyes spontaneously or something like that. As a matter of fact, I've struggled to cry a few times in my life when I feel like I should have been crying. And after Amelia passed away, I feel like I wasn't crying all the time, but I definitely was crying a lot. I definitely cried pretty much every damn day, especially when I was writing I Can't Imagine, recounting and remembering her life and her story. I haven't read the book. I haven't read my own book in years now. Part of me, like whenever I pass by Amelia's photos over there on the side of the wall, it's hard for me to look at it, to be honest with you. I feel like I'm in a happier place in life, and I know focus on your values. And I feel like it's hard for me sometimes to go back. When I see her photo in the NICU, it just immediately takes me back to that place, right? When I see a picture of a lion on the wall, it reminds me of who she is, right? Versus her actual picture in the NICU. Or when I read my actual own words, it's just hard to go back to that place. It's not that I don't want to, it's just that it's just hard. Like I need a nudge sometimes, right? And that's one of the reasons why like these sadder books, these books about death, suffering, pain, and real stories of humanity helps me to go back into that place, right? This particular, because I don't want to forget that stuff, to be honest with you. Like you might say, why go back there? Like I don't want to forget that. Like, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I just need a nudge. And this was my nudge on this particular day. So the last time that I remember on this journey, we're talking about in 2022, spontaneously crying and just breaking down. It seems like the gaps get further and further since I get away from losing Amelia. Like I'm just spontaneously just breaking down and crying. I remember when I was reading When Breath Becomes Air, and that was a book about Dr. Colin that passed away. He was writing his own memoir as he was dying of cancer, and he actually never finished the book because he died. So his wife wrote the last chapter. And I remember I was on the treadmill one day. It was April of 2022. I was down in my basement. And I was on the last chapter. That book was so hard to get through. And I'm listening to her tell about his last few days and share the rest of his story that he didn't get a chance to finish. And I mean, literally, I'm jogging and I'm just bawling my eyes out. It was really, really like just flooded of emotions came out of me, right? It's been a long time since that happened. So we're now in January 2023 when I wrote this reflection, and I've just finished the 5 invitations. And I was immediately writing the next reflection after this. And this reflection was about that next breakdown. So I'm back home after we get back from New York, getting ready to go out on a run outside. All last winter, I tried to run outside. I'm going to try to do it again this winter. It's just something that feels good to be connected to nature. Every run that I go on every morning, I put my iPhone on my arm and put in my AirPods, and Amelia and I go out run. Sometimes we'll do a HIIT workout while we're in the middle of our run. Sometimes we'll do just a longer distance run. Sometimes we'll do whatever. But either way, we're always outside running, almost every single day in the mornings. And we're listening to an audiobook. That's what we do. This is every day, every fucking day. I can't remember the last time that I didn't do this, to be honest with you. And since she's passed away, I mean, there's never been a day that I've missed any of these things. So this is our routine, right? So I'm getting ready to leave the house, listening to the 5 invitations, and the story comes on about one of the employees at the Zen Hospice Project. Her name is Patty. Patty was recounting, or the guy that was writing the story was recounting Patty's story. And I'm just listening, going along. And he starts talking about Patty has a son named Jack, and her and her husband were out having a backyard barbecue with another neighbor couple. And her son, Jack, who was 3 years old, was in the front yard playing with the neighbor's friend. 2 couples were in the backyard just chatting. She said to her husband a couple times, I think I need to go check on Jack. And I'm like, no, he's fine. He's fine. He's fine. Don't worry about it. And she was like, you're right. I always am stressed out about this stuff. He's fine. Then they hear this big screaming coming from the front yard, and all the parents come running around and find Jack in the middle of the street with his leg badly broken and other really bad bodily damage. And obviously it was a hit and run. He was in bad shape, but they rushed him to the hospital, and he was put on life support almost immediately. Slowly but surely over the next few days, his body started failing, right? So they had to make the decision, like, take him off life support. And so my ears perk up when I hear this, because obviously, right, my story with Amelia and having to make that decision with my own daughter and watching her slowly cascade into losing her and having to make that decision, right? So I didn't start crying yet, though. So I hear this and I'm like, oh my God. Anytime I hear any story about somebody losing a child, I'm immediately like, oh my God. Like, I can't, it just takes me back to that place immediately, right? But I didn't cry. It was, what made me start crying actually was after that. So after Jack dies, Patty made the decision immediately. She was like, if I'm going to honor Jack's life, I can't let this accident destroy her. So she made the decision to allow Jack to speak through her actions every single day. And as a first step, she decided to channel Jack's courage and strength, and she forgave the driver of the hit and run. And then she didn't stop there. She kept living every single day with Jack, with his spirit, and trying to do what she could to channel him, and also at the same time to make him proud and to keep living that life. And then eventually she found her way to the Zen Hospice Project, where she somehow became the go-to person when other families were having young children die. And she was the one that they would call, and she was the one that would go and try to help people, right? Like, and try to help other families that were losing their children. And I'm about to cry right now, but like, it was one of those things where I just fucking stopped. I was in the middle of my kitchen. I just fucking started just bawling. I mean, like, it struck every chord, like, of, this is what this whole fucking journey is about, right? Like, this is what living for 2 is for me. This is exactly what Patty was going through with Jack, and what she decided to channel his life and to make him proud. The same thing that I do with Amelia every single day. And it's our duty as parents to speak for them, right? Because they can't let people not remember them, but also at the same time not forget them. I mean, try our best to it's really, really important. It's the most important thing in my life, right? Like, it is, and it will always be the most important thing in my life. And for Patty, that'll always be the most important thing in her life as well. And ultimately it turns into helping other people. And this is, you and I aren't talking if Amelia isn't who Amelia is, right? This journey doesn't happen if Amelia isn't who Amelia is. None of the stuff that I'm going to do for the rest of my life, and none of the stuff that I already have done, is anything without Amelia. Everything that I do is trying to honor her and to do what she taught me, and to focus on my values and all the things that we've learned in this whole entire journey. This is just a reminder of, what are you doing? Remember what this is all about, right? And I just started breaking down and crying. So right after I heard this, I decided to do something I hadn't done in years. I took my armband off, put my iPhone down, took my earbuds out, and Amelia and I just went on a run together that morning. And I remember that, like, we just were like, I'm just going to talk with her. We just had a talk the entire time, had a great conversation. I sometimes feel like I get lost these days, not like in a bad way where I'm fully off path or something, but sometimes I forget what this is all about. I forget to check in with Amelia, or to remember why, not that I'm not still doing this stuff. It's still trying to honor her life, but like, some of the stuff becomes just autopilot at a certain point in time, And that's never the point, right? Like I don't ever want, this isn't just habits for habits sake. This is how I'm trying to go forward to be a parent to a daughter that isn't here anymore, right? And how I'm trying to do my best to honor my hero in life. And same thing with Jack and Patty. I don't know. This story just hit me really hard. It was something that I felt like I had to document on this journey because I want people to learn about Jack and I want people to learn about Amelia. Patty and I both deserve that. And everybody deserves to know about these amazing kids. If this journey helps anybody else see that, then great. That's what I want. That's what I hope they hear. So yeah, that's all. Love to get your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you in terms of what I'm thinking is, like you say, this is what the whole journey is about because what I see for me and for everybody else as well is that we really, for the most part, even like 100% of the time, forget about what's important. We forget about what's the point. And even you do too sometimes, Chris. I mean, it's just a distraction of life. When I say life, it's not life as it should. It's life as what we, as humanity, as society, has accustomed to. So I think I guess the oh wow moment is when you say, I'm lost or I drifted far away from what I should be. Because you think about it, only when you are right in the NICU is this when you are realizing what your daughter is doing for herself and for you, right? And then after a few years, you start to kind of drift away, but you don't notice that you're drifting away. And then to me, that is very important because we are like drift away from what is really important. And then when we get to the point where we are on our last breath and we say, oh, wow, because we said, shit, I don't have more time. I did not do the thing that I wanted to do, that I realized was important. I went and do things that wasn't important, which I thought was important. And I think that's the key here in terms of company and Yomo in general is the key here is not to miss a point because
and to remember why.
People go through life, right? And they live the life of a creations of a imaginary versus the life through feelings. And we as human beings have to live through feelings because feeling is what makes us who we are. Because like for example, you say you can't cry and whatnot, it's your feeling that triggers the emotions. And your feeling that realize that brings you back to reality to the moments, okay, why am I doing any of these things? And why am I doing this and that and the other? And then you realize that why. And that's the thing to me, it's so, and the thing is, it's a hard reminder when you are actually going through these, reading this book and triggers that emotion to say, well, I got to go back to the basic. What's the point, right, of my journey? Am I really living for two? I got this wake up call from this book that the emotion triggers me to make me remember the day to understand the real reason, the real point why you're doing any of these things. And to me, I can't emphasize enough how we are so drifting towards.
It's so easy to drift. It's so
without noticing it. The point is we don't notice that we're drifting.
I know, yeah. It's so right? Easy. It's so easy.
And so the thing is, for me, I am fearful that when I'm about to leave this earth, I'm gonna say, "Oh wow, this is the fear I have." Right? I said, I'm trying to, like I say, I want to go back to the basic. What's the point, right? The point is to enjoy life. Am I enjoying life? Am I doing things I should be doing? Am I running for trains? So these lessons, these Yomo reflections, is what kind of the guardrails sort of speak to kind of say, hey,
it's a memory palace.
So you're not supposed to get off of the trail. So the memory palace is Yomo path. So each Yomo has a guardrail or just like one of those spikes that tell you, hey, this when you are close to this fence, you are way off of your path of your line is track, right? So that's what I'm saying is I don't know when I'm drifting, and that's the danger. You don't know that you're drifting, and that's the danger. This is why the Yomo is so important, because you reading these books, it actually brings you back because you are going like imagine you have a bridge, right? And there's no side rails. What is the chances that you're going to drift off? and go into the water.
Pretty good.
Very good. That's why you will have guardrails. And the Yomo books, it's guardrail, because I'm saying is we don't know that we're drifting away from the path that we're supposed to go.
No, not. I mean, no way. Like how? Like I mean, I fucking have every guardrail you can ever imagine in my life to remember. Like there is mementos all over this house. There's photos. There's visual images. There's every single day when I sit down and I type in my journal, I have all my values. I have my why written down. I have everything that I have a fucking creed that I wrote for myself to remember this stuff. And even then, I still I pass through them every single day, and I see them every single day as I start to write. And when I come up to my office, I see all these things every single day, and I still go, no, I'm not going to engage in that today.
Right. But I'm saying is you have to practice it. So you think about Yomo. Yomo is something we do every day, right? We're practicing these things. And these are the guardrails that actually is active. It works. The guardrail that you put in, like if you don't actually use it every day, you don't actually practice every day, it isn't useful. It's inactive.
Have you ever been to New York City?
I have not.
What do you think it feels like to go to the 9/11 memorial? I mean, obviously you were in America when 9/11 happened. What do you think it feels like around the former World Trade Centers today in New York City?
What do I think, or what I think is reality?
No, what do you think the reality is? Like, what do you imagine in your head if you were to go visit the World Trade Center?
You don't notice it's there. You don't notice that thing happened. I mean, what I believe is people build something different, and it's completely new. It's not like they may have a memorial with names of people on it, maybe, but I don't know if people have the feelings of, hey, this is something that it's there and something, right? I think people moved on in a way.
It's even worse. Now it's like a tourist site. Now it's like a destination.
Right. So my point is people don't actually understand there is something here happened. They don't even know that. So unless you like seen it, like visually seen it there, you don't know. Even the kids, right? They don't remember that part. They remember maybe some kind of memorial for their family members or whatever, but they don't remember that specifically, right? And so that's the thing with people is people drifts, right? And because there's no guardrail to bring them back, they continue to drift. And the thing is, it's so easily you get lost. You're just sitting there. You're not doing anything. You're just sitting there, and like next hour, you say, well,
you end up in the
I'm like in the middle of the ocean somewhere. I have no idea where I am. I don't know where I'm supposed to go back. And so that's the thing is we are really, like I said, it's either majority of the people or 100% of the people who drifts. Because I know I drifted. I know you drifted. The only way for me and you to go back is because we practice these things every day. Because you get on here, you talk about this thing, it brings me back. It also brings you back. I go on here and I talk to you about I don't want for training. It also brings you back because sometimes you get sidetracked with the work and all the things that surrounds you, and it distracts you. But the thing is, we don't know that we are getting this drifted and distracted away from what we understand what life should be. Because I'm saying, hey, life, you should enjoy the life. That's the point of having a life. And sometimes I do things that is opposite of that, meaning what's the point of having anxiety if you can't control it, right? What's the point of having fear of being late? We talked about this yesterday. What's the result, what's the outcome of being late? But why are you fearful of it? Why you have nightmares about it? Why you have this cortisol releasing in your body to create this havoc and damage to your body, creating this stress for yourself? And that's what I'm saying is we don't realize how much we self-inflicting misery on ourselves. And
we drift toward missing the point. It's part of life, and you have to control drift, but at the same time, same question you can ask about. Well, I have two thoughts. I've never been to Hiroshima or Nagasaki in Japan personally, so I don't know how this feels to go there. But if I had to guess, it's probably not much different than the 9/11 memorial. It's probably even worse now because that was almost 80 years ago or something like that, right? I've been to Pearl Harbor before in Hawaii, and it didn't feel the same way that 9/11 felt. That was straight up a tourist destination. There was a little bit of somberness when you went out to the Arizona and you took the little ferry out to go see whatever, but I didn't feel anything. Like, I didn't feel anything at all when I went to Pearl Harbor other than, oh man, Hawaii is beautiful. Like, this is a cool little area. People died here. Oh, that sucks. I know for a fact that if that's how I felt about going to Pearl Harbor, that it probably wouldn't be much different feeling when you're going to Hiroshima or Nagasaki. New things are all there. It's a whole new city. People have no idea what they're walking on, the foundations of life. Same thing happens in New York.
This is what I'm talking. This is what I'm talking about. This is the point I'm trying to drive home. Is that without Yomo, right? You and I aren't going to be focusing on what we're doing today. We're still missing the point, because we will be missing the point.
Yes.
And that's saying something, because by default, you will miss a point unless you have some kind of a practice that you do every day that has some kind of a homing beacon towards the point.
Right.
Else you will miss a point. You will get lost, and you don't, because the moment they get distracted in one way, and you look back at it, you say, well, the lighthouse or the dock where you dock your boat, you don't see it anymore.
Right.
You don't see it anymore. And that's the thing, is we, like I'm saying that without this Yomo that we meet every day, you and I aren't doing this. You and I will not have this mindset. Okay, we just don't have the mindset. The mindset is completely erased and replaced with some nonsense, some kind of like, hey, let's go rise, grind, and repeat, some kind of entrepreneur, whatever is top of mind.
Right.
And because we're bombarding ourselves with information, we're bombarding ourselves with distractions of life, like go and keeping up with the Joneses and do what things people see on TV, on the radio, people that in your circle, in your environment. We are filling our brains and our mind with it, and we miss the point easily and quickly.
Right. The little group that I play with, the 100 or so people that get together at the park down the street from us that play every 3 days a week, basically. It's a lot of fun. Great people, ton of fun. We're hitting the winter season now. It's late October, and in the Midwest, that means fall weather, which means we're not going to do this outside anymore because we can't predict what's going to happen. It may not be too cold, but we can't schedule it. People can still get together and go play.
Right.
It can't be a coordinated activity.
Unpredictable, right?
Right. It's just an unpredictable weather pattern at this point in time. So, you would think, I love playing pickleball. I love playing tennis. I love doing all this other stuff. You would think that I'm going to really just soak in the last day, and be like, I'm going to go play. I played for like 4 hours today, and I did. But like, I was distracted as fuck, like the entire time. You know why? Because I have some stupid ass work project that I got thrown in my lap like late last night. And I'm thinking about it right now, going, I got to get it done by tomorrow midday. And it's a decent amount of work. And I actually don't know the exact thing that I have to do for it. So I have to go invent whatever I have to go do for this. And, yada, yada, yada. So like my brain was all over the place all night tonight, when I was playing. And then
you were at the park, but you weren't at the park.
I wasn't. I mean, sometimes I would wake up out of it, but most of the time I wasn't. And it pains me more than anything in the world to pretend that matters. What's distracting me right now, and it doesn't matter. And I know that it doesn't matter. And I'm not going to forget that, I'm never going to remember what I have to get done for tomorrow. I'm never going to fucking remember for the rest of my life after that's done. Like I won't, I guarantee it. I don't give a fuck, and it does nothing toward this stuff. Right. And like,
it's just life fillers.
It is.
It's just life. I'm pretty convinced that whenever you're 99 or whatever, you don't remember, like, what did I do today's day, right? Well, what the hell is so important that I couldn't enjoy pickleball?
Nothing.
You would not remember. You probably will remember if a month from now.
I know what it feels like to lose everything. And I can't even enjoy something that I love to do because like I know what it feels like to lose fucking everything. Right. Like, and if that isn't enough to remind me to turn that off and enjoy what I'm doing in the moment, like it is not easy. Like, this is not something that I think that like when we finish this journey and we say focus on your values, and it's that simple. It's simple, right? Like it's not simple. It's not simple at all.
It's not easy because we have to deal with the bombardment of our surroundings, and without a practice in place, these things are going to distract us from the point. Because basically, let's say it's like a needle in a haystack, right? You have the needle, and then people throw haystacks on you. It's like by default they're gonna throw themselves in and say,
"Are the needle? Like in
what
the haystack?"
The fuck?
Right.
I lost track of the needle. I guess you lost track of the needle, and that's what happened, right?
That's fine.
And what I'm saying is, it's very, very hard. It's not complex. It's pretty easy, and not easy. It's simple. Simple means there's only like a few things you have to do, which is you have to live your core values. I don't know if I can make it any simpler than that, right? Because like I said, you have to be who you need to be,
right?
Not who you want to be,
right?
Who you need to be. Who are you really as a person? You can't say, well, I'm 5'6", 5'7", I want to be 6'7", right? And you can't want to be, right? You are who you are, right? Be that person. And so the same thing with your core values and your values, like whatever that is, you have the affinity for. You live that. If you don't live that, and that's the thing is, people say they're distracted. That's what I'm saying is, people comes to me, and they will, start to slowly kind of nudge you in a way, one way or another. They nudge you away from where you need to be. It doesn't have to be in specific directions.
Any direction, yeah. It's like that book Undistracted by Bob Goff, right? Or Indistracted. Yeah, Undistracted. No, Indistracted. Is it Indistracted?
There's two books. There are books that say undistracted, and there's a book that is indistracted, right?
That's right. Yeah.
But my point is that it's a myriad of ways to get you distracted, and there's only a few ways to keep you indistracted. Right. To keep your eyes on your core values.
Right.
And I'm saying you have to practice your core values, because the core value isn't a core value unless you.
It's not the core values. Your why, your purpose. Like that's what you need to.
But I think the thing is,
go hand in hand is a day-to-day compass. Is the North Star.
And that's the thing is, you can't do your why without the help of core values. The core value is your guide. It's like your helpers. Okay,
it's your compass.
It's your indicator of the why. Right? Hey, like you said, your compass. Your core value is an indicator. It says, hey, point to needle. And that's what I'm saying is, you want to use your core values to make sure that you're still on track.
Right.
Towards your why. Because if you don't, you drive anywhere, right? You didn't use a compass. What's the probability that you're not going to be on the same path? Right? You're on a canoe. You're on a canoe, or whatever. You just, let us sit and by the waves itself, right?
You'll get somewhere.
But where you want it to be.
Well, if you don't know where you want it to be, it'll take you somewhere.
Because there are myriads of ways for you to not be where you want to be, and there's only a few ways to be where you want to be. And that's the point is, we have to make sure that you have a memory path. You have to have a guardrail of sort on this path of your why. If you don't, then it's like very good chance you will drift, and when
you will. I mean, you will.
That's what I'm saying. It's very, very good.
No, everybody
at
will.
the point where it's a good 100%, right? And then the point I'm trying to make is, you will have the eureka moment when you say, "Oh wow, I fucked up."
Yeah.
And if you don't want that to happen to you, then you need to have your core values as your guardrail so that you don't lose the point.
I have two final thoughts, and I got to jump because it's really late and I haven't even eaten dinner yet. The first thought is like, what I told you at the beginning of this conversation, I'm kind of been a little gloomy today, right? I know that I have to do some stuff, and it's weighing on my mind, and at the same time, I know that's not important, and at the same time, like, I'm getting kind of angry at one of my coworkers for reasons that are completely stupid and irrelevant, and they're frustrating me. I could probably give you every reason why, and you would probably agree with me, but it doesn't matter. It is really irrelevant. It's missing the point activities, right? To meet with this person tomorrow. And one of the things that I so badly just want to lay into that person, like, just be like, you know what? I'm fucking sick of your shit. Like, you need to, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Like, everything in me wants to do that. But then again, then I'm completely,
you're distracted, and it leads you somewhere else.
Right. So that was point number one. This is a good reminder. This is why we do this, because it's a good check-in to do this stuff. Second thing that came to mind for me is, I told you I'm not going to say nevers, but like, I don't know when I'm going to reread it. I can't imagine. I don't know if I ever will. The last time I read it was when I did the audio version of it. I don't know if I ever can read it again, to be honest with you. I mean, I've read it so many times, writing it and doing all the stuff that I did with it. Obviously, I wrote it, I edited it, in conjunction with an editor. But like, I mean, I spent a lot of time doing a lot of this stuff. I probably read that book 30 times, front to back in my, over the past, few years of my life. Right. And I haven't picked it up since, late 2021, I think. Right. And I don't know that I ever can again. I don't know that I want to ever again, but YOLO is different. Right. I want to read these every single morning in my morning daily practice, replacing all these books that I have right here on my desk that are other people's reflection books every single day with my own. Because like, and I'm looking forward to sharing this with Luca and other people someday, you know, like, and what we're doing right now. Like, I'm proud of this. Like, you know, oh my God, I just spilled something off my desk when I did that. I'm really proud of this because it is in the direction that I want to be, and I will always be happy because it's in the direction that it points me toward Amelia and what makes me happy, right? Like, and this is like Jack, and this is like Patty going to the Zen Hospice Project to help people, you know, like this is my sharing the elixir, if you will, from the hero's journey. This is not just sharing it with other people, it's sharing it with myself, you know, and reminding myself every single day of this stuff. Like I could go reread, I can't imagine, you know, once a month or something like that. You know, I don't know that I can't do. That's fucking torture.
Well, I'm not sure that's the point though. It's not the point. I mean, you don't want, because then it's like you are honoring your daughter's memory and you want to carry on, say, you know, since you can't continue on with this earth, I will carry your spirit with me. And the spirit, the thing is with human nature is we need to continuously moving.
Right.
And so you want also for
I don't want
her
to go
to
back to that
also
place. Move
to continue to progress, to grow with you. And so that's what you want. You don't want to go and say, hey, you know, Amelia, you stay exactly the way you are,
right.
Whatever. And that's what I'm saying is you don't want Luca to say, hey, you know, he's a baby all the time. You want to see him grow up, right? And to me, that's human nature. And you want to carry on that torch. And I think that's the point. It isn't to say, hey, you know, I need to remember my daughter the way she was. I want to remember my daughter the way the daughter should be.
We're going. Right. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Like you get to see your kids grow every single day. Like you don't, I mean, yeah, it's cool to think back when they were babies, but you're like, you don't see your daughters as,
I mean, you think about
it.
Let's say you see Luca today, right? You want that Luca today, or you want a Luca that is in the NICU.
No, I can't even, honestly, I swear to you, my iPhone memories come up on Luca and different photos, and I'm like, that was the same kid? I'm like, that doesn't resemble anything what I think of Luca in that time as he's progressed, right? Even the visuals of the stuff that he was doing and what he was not doing and videos that I see of him, I'm like, I don't know. It's like a completely different kid, you know? I mean, it is a different
But the thing is, you want Luca to be Luca as a growing kid,
today,
not a static kid that's in the past, right? And you are so proud of him in the way that he does things, in the way that he wants to play the, you know, pickleball or whatever that he does that is make him who he is as a person. That is his entirety versus that's just his shell, his former shell of something. And so that's what I'm saying is I think it's not the point for you to go back and say, hey, I remember Amelia the way she is, the way she was. I want to Amelia as a daughter, and a daughter will grow. And I'm just, you know, she doesn't have a body, but she has a spirit, and her spirit lives with me. Right. And to me, that's the point. So we don't want to miss the point. The point, you know, the point is your why. Whatever it is your why, you need to determine that, and do not try very hard not to let people throw, you know, the haste on your needles.
Right. I think that's a great way to end this one. So I appreciate you joining. I appreciate you being late night tonight. And thanks everybody for tuning in. And, you know, thanks to Jack and Patty as well. I mean, I feel really bad for Patty, but at the same time, I know that she's done what she could to, you know, and we're talking about him right now. And that's great. I hope other people talk about Amelia someday, you know, and that's the point, right? So, all right. Well, thanks for joining, everyone. The question we can leave for you is, how do you find your rest in the middle of things? That was the fourth invitation. And this was about me and Amelia finding our rest in the middle of chaos of just running, you know, being with her. It always is great when you can find that calm in the middle of all the chaos around you and go, oh, okay, this is what it feels. This is what it was about. I remember. So how do you find your rest in the middle of things and make that a part of your daily life? I think that's an important thing to remember. Well, thanks for joining, and we will see you tomorrow night.
Good night.